So Gervonta Tank Davis says if Terrence Crawford felt he was going to win, he would have took the Spence offer. Let's talk.
Straighter, not a roundhouse right hand.
And that's what we've been talking about. The straight shot is the one where he gets leverage on it.
I don't want to kill
Pull
somebody
back
for
a
a few
little bit.
seconds.
Nah, I want a body on my record.
Now, I want to see you fight motherfuckers. I do. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you. As long as you're trying to fight the great, the best competition.
Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Yo, it's the best, fight the best. If you ain't with the moto, just click the link, bitch, and get buried like the rest. It ain't gonna work how you want it. These trolls already tried, too many come but don't leave. So if you hear, you gotta die. I'm spitting straight facts. These bitches crying cause they hate that. The LDBC's the top topic, bitch, hate that. We the ones that bring the truth to these fans. So while you hate, I'ma laugh and keep counting these bands. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link, get the dance. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you. Welcome to the graveyard. Click the link if you dare to. Bury you alive, I'm prepared to. Welcome to the graveyard. You get your sources from clowns, so when you come around, we don't hear you.
Welcome to the graveyard.
So Gervonta Tank Davis he did an interview with my boys over at the Rise. Shout out to the Rise podcast. He did an interview and he was asked about this, and he said if Crawford felt like he was going to win, then he would have took the Spence offer. I totally agree. 100% agree. And what his words were verbatim was the following. The man says if Terrence Crawford, if he felt like he was going to win that fight, he would have took this offer that they gave him. That is what he said. I am in 100% agreement of that. 100% agreement. Because you got to look at it like this. At the end of the day, right? If you believe you can beat somebody, if you believe you can beat them, then it don't matter what is offered. As long as they're not trying to be disrespectful, right? As long as they're not offering you fucking pennies on the dollar out this bitch. If they're being respectful, they're offering you a good amount of money, then it would make sense to take whatever the fuck they're offering. And in this dude's case, he said that he accepts all terms. He accepted what they gave them. So if you accept what they gave them, if you accept what they gave you, you said you agreed to all terms and you accepted it, well then what other conclusion could you come up with? If you said I agreed to everything, and they gave you what you agreed to everything, they gave it to you, and then you just don't accept it, well, the only thing left is you don't believe you can win, right? You just don't believe you can win. There's, however you want to slice it and dice it and sugarcoat it, there's something in there that says, I can't fuck with this guy, or so I need a way out of this, right? Because at first it was, oh man, they're bullshitting with the contract, they're bullshitting with this, they're dragging their feet, blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. That's what it was at first, right? But then the reality is they weren't dragging their feet. They gave you what you wanted. You said you agreed to take it, and then you just refused to sign a contract that you had. Well, that just clearly says that, you don't believe you can win. You don't believe you can win, or the other thing is, not you don't believe you can win, you never wanted to fight in the first place. You were just using this guy's name. Right? And they backed you into a corner where it was, all right, well, now you got what you got. So are you going to fight or what? And now he's like, no. So then you didn't want it in the first place then. But, it is what it is. Tank went on to say some other stuff because, people always talk about, oh, well, Errol Spence is flat-footed, which he really isn't. But then they say Errol Spence don't move his head, which he really does. But they say all these things. Terrence Crawford can move around. He's got the footwork. He's got all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. right? Well, Gervonta Tank Davis had something to say to that too. He said, I don't care how much he run around. Once them hands get on him, it's going to slow him down. Ain't no if. He's going to touch him, right? So it don't matter how he moves. It don't matter if he moves around. It don't matter about none of that. Now, and we have seen that Terrence Crawford trying to, that's just not how he fights at 147. He don't move around and dance around and all this footwork, and he don't do none of that shit. He goes right at you thinking that he's the big man on the block. He's going to just bully you down. But the problem is, you're trying to bully down someone that ain't with that shit, he's going to end up getting knocked the fuck out. But, hey, I'm all for it. Go ahead and smash the gas and, go ahead and try to bully him down and get beat up. I'm all for that. Because y'all know I don't really like this dude anyway. Well, I mean, I don't really have a beef with him. My beef is that he's a duck. But at this particular moment, this dude is costing us the biggest fight in boxing because of his greed. Like, there's absolutely no way that he thinks he's going to make more money and bigger fights and all this stuff. Oh, but BF, he is making more money. He's making $10 million. Yeah, but he'll make more than that fighting Errol Spence. But he just doesn't want to fight Errol Spence. And like Tank said, he's going to get touched. Same way that Green Beans touched him when Green Beans dropped his ass. The same way. And what the crazy part about this is, we talk about this footwork and all these other type of things and blah, 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 and this punching power and yada, yada, yada. Well, when he fought Benavidez was not moving. Benavidez was sitting right on the ropes the whole fight. And he was landing shots, piecing this dude up. And he couldn't get in there. He couldn't do what he wanted to do. It took him all the way to the 12th. Oh, but BF, he got him out of there. Yeah, at the 12th round. In the 12th round, the 11th or 12th round, you got a fighter out of there that wasn't moving. He was sitting on the ropes. He didn't have this magical head movement that y'all say, oh, Errol don't keep his head off. He don't keep his head off the line. Errol's head be right on the line. And blah, blah, blah. Well, Benavidez didn't move at all. There was no line. He didn't move at all. He just sat there. He just stood there. And Terrence Crawford couldn't figure out a man that was standing there doing nothing. He was just standing there. He had one leg, got shot in his leg. His leg was all wrapped up. He was laying on the ropes. And Terrence Crawford couldn't do shit with him for 11 or 12 rounds. For 11 to 12 rounds, this guy was just standing there, laying on the ropes. But you guys expect me to believe that this guy's going to come in there and do something magical and mysterious to Errol Spence after not being able to do none of this to none of these other fighters. Not being able to do any of this. So when Tank says this, it makes perfect sense. It makes 100% perfect sense. If Crawford felt like he was going to win, he would have took the Spence offer. He just didn't feel like he was going to win. There's more for him to use Errol Spence's name, tie Errol Spence's name to any fight that he's going to fight, and then fight other fights. It's just more money in it. Let me just clout chase his name, let everybody thinking that I want to fight this guy, and then I'll fight somebody else. So they build up all the hype and hoopla about me fighting this guy, and I'll just go fight somebody else. Then now I done talked about this man and used this man's name, built myself up. Now everybody's looking at me like I'm the guy that's going to do something. And then I'll go fight somebody else. And I'll just keep doing that. Rinse, wash, repeat. Just keep clout chasing this man's name with no intentions on fighting him at all. Anytime someone puts a mic in my face, I'll talk all tough about this guy that I'm not fighting. I'm fighting somebody else, but I'll talk all tough about this guy over and over and over again. And then keep fighting somebody else. This is the greatest clout chase in the world. So when Tank says if he felt like he could beat Errol, he would have took the offer. It makes total sense. It makes total sense. But it is what it is. You guys tell me what y'all think. BFTB, shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.